Hey, it's Desiree, back again with another live stream about pricing. I'm actually not going to get too much into pricing per se. I actually want to talk today about one of the questions I get very often from clients. And I really want to talk about it because it is a question that keeps you playing small. And that question is, who's going to pay that much? Or another way to say it is, will they pay, right? Like, basically trying to project whether or not your current clients, usually this is where it's coming from, the current clients that you've been working with, would they be willing to invest at your new price point? And the reason that that question often gets you stuck is because it takes the focus off of what's really, at hand, which is your value. When you know how to articulate your value, when you totally understand the pain that your clients are in, the solution that you can provide, how it closes the gap for them faster and easier than they could do on their own, then you will not continue to ask yourself the question, who will pay you that much, right? When you are asking that question, it is really an indication that you do not clearly understand your value. In order to be able to sell at higher price points, you need a great offer, one that is focused on your zone of genius. You also need to have really powerful messaging that speaks to your ideal clients. You need to have, a proven way of generating leads, which is not very challenging. There's a lot of people who teach lead gen, and I think it's great, but I don't think lead gen, just learning strategies on lead gen solves the problem, because if you don't truly understand your value, if you're not 110% sold in whatever it is that you're offering at your new fee, you won't be able to sell it consistently. That's just the reality. So you need all of those things. So everything basically works together. The biggest thing that you need is belief. Right? You need to believe that what you're selling is worth the new price tag that you've put on it, whether that price tag is $10,000, $30,000, $50,000, whatever the number might be. You have to be sold on the value of that offer. You have to be able to receive at a higher level. So instead of asking yourself questions like, who will pay that much? Why is it worth? Why is what you're offering to people worth that amount? Focus the attention on what it is that you do for folks. Because when you do that, then you'll see that it's a no-brainer. Typically, when I have clients who are charging higher end fees, the actual value of their program is worth 10 times what they're charging, if not more than that. When you think about not only the direct benefit that the client gets, that specific problem that is solved, but when you also think about, all of the other benefits, how their service actually impacts the client's personal life, right? So if you really can think about that, if you can really look for the value in your program, you'll stop asking yourself questions like, who's going to pay that much, so that you can stop playing small. Because oftentimes when you focus your attention on a question like that, what do you get to do? That's your out. That's the way that you get to say, well, maybe I'm not ready to charge this amount yet. I've had clients in the past who said, or even you might have clients right now who are saying they can't afford it. And so you think, well, that means nobody else can afford it, which is bullshit, right? Perhaps the clients that you're working with right now, or the clients that you're attracting right now, are not your ideal clients. Are these clients who light you up? Are these clients who challenge you to access higher levels of your genius? If not, guess what? You've outgrown those clients. And so when you are, putting together the right offer, the offer that is a match or that's in alignment with who you've grown into, with who you've become, that allows you, again, to access higher levels of your genius, when you have the right messaging to call in those particular clients, and how to go about that on a day-to-day basis, like what activities you should focus on in order to generate leads consistently into your business, you will not have a problem selling at your higher end, right? There are people who sell $100,000 packages. That's something that I teach clients how to do. There are also people who sell multiple six-figure packages, $1 million packages, right? So if there are people out there doing that, what makes you think you can't do that? So if you're working with clients right now, again, who you probably have outgrown, who are telling you things like they can't afford it, a couple of things to look at. Look at the messaging. Look at whether or not it is the right client for you, right? But don't base your decision to raise your fee on what you think people will pay. Because typically you're thinking from the mind of a person who has attracted the level of clients that you have right now, which means there's some things that you need to shift in terms of your thoughts, so that you can actually call in the higher level clients who will pay you whatever it is that you know that your services are worth, right? I also want you to realize that, if you're working or if you're attracting clients right now who are no longer ideal for you. They're not the right fit, or maybe they never were the right fit. Let's just be honest. Sometimes that happens, right? Your reality right now is what it is, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't decide to step up into, let's call it the 2.0 version of yourself, and start calling in the right kind of clients for you now, right? That is the way that you get to play at your highest level. That's the way that you really get to serve powerfully. So I hope that's been of value. Hey, Tasha. Hey, Anita. How are you? That's what I wanted to share today. If you have any questions about charging more and getting it, then we should talk. You can send me a private message about that, because what I really want to do is see a lot less people in the marketplace playing small. Because when you play small, not only does that impact the way that you are able to serve your clients, but it impacts other areas of your life. You know, when you're playing small, think about the other areas in your life in which you are not truly valuing yourself. Typically, that could look like really not valuing yourself in your personal relationships, right? So how is that impacting you on a day-to-day basis? When we talk about commanding the fees that you believe your work is worth, and I want to be very clear about this, not everybody wants to charge high-end. And it may not be your thing, right? I would imagine that you wouldn't be watching this live stream if it wasn't your thing. But let's be clear, not everybody is up to this. Not everybody is into raising their fees and commanding more. The way that you know that this is something that it's about time for you to do is if you have the desire now. The desire does not present itself to you unless it is something that you truly want to do. Question is, are you going to have the balls to do it? That's really what it comes down to, right? So I hope I've given you some insight that will help you, place the focus where it really needs to be, which is you really understanding your value and then having the confidence in that value to command the fees that you know your work is worth. Cool? All right. So until we speak again, I hope you're up to big, bold things in your life and in your business. Take care.